So you're going to law school next year. How exciting! If you're starting law school next year, this video is going to be super helpful. My name is Majella and I just recently graduated law school with honours. And here are my top tips for surviving law school. In terms of career, it is really important that you are getting legal experience from your very first year. It's really important that you fully understand all of the career options as a lawyer and what sort of career options there are for you if you don't want to be an actual lawyer. In order to know that, you need to start getting involved in the field and ask questions of your tutors and lecturers. The other thing about getting a job in the legal field from your first year is that you'll actually know what's going on in your classes from a real life perspective. When I had a legal job, my studies was so much easier because the legal terminology, the jargon, everything made so much more sense because I used it regularly and in a real life scenario. So don't just wait until the designated internship in your second or third year. Don't just wait until clerkships come around. Actually try and get that legal experience from your first year. It will really help, especially in deciding what type of law you want to go into. This is a particularly important tip because for someone like me, I thought that I didn't want to be a lawyer, and so I didn't bother getting experience in the legal profession in the first 2 years of my degree. This was a huge mistake because later on, when I was getting legal experience and doing certain subjects, I actually found that I really enjoyed legal work and I did actually want the opportunity to become a lawyer. Then I was starting on the back foot because I hadn't had any legal experience yet. So it's important not to shut yourself off from opportunities too early on and make sure that you're open to everything, especially in the beginning. Getting that experience will really help you make an accurate decision. I mean, for example, I thought I wanted nothing to do with commercial law, but now I actually really enjoy commercial law and I work in a space where commercial law knowledge is needed. So you just never really know until you give everything a go. In terms of your career, at the end of the day, you need to be proactive in finding out what it is you need to do in order to progress your career in the legal field. Because I don't know if I just lived under a rock throughout my uni years, but I feel like it was never mentioned that the way to get a grad role in a legal firm at the end of your degree is by getting a clerkship. I had no idea that this was the stepping stone. Most of the grad roles come from clerkships, and clerkships are offered to students who are in their second last year of their law degree. So it's really important that you understand how this works and you need to be proactive in finding that out. Your lectures. Depending on what law school you're going to, your lectures might not be compulsory, but I definitely recommend that you go into all of them in person or at least watch them online, especially if you have an exam for that subject. If you don't have an exam and you only have very niche specific assessments, then you might not need to go to the lectures. But on the whole, a general tip is to go to every lecture because it gives you a really good understanding of the subject overall, as well as gives you the chance to network with your peers and your tutors. Don't underestimate the power of networking with your tutors and lecturers. If you're watching them online, watch them on double speed, and if they're giving you the slides, don't bother writing down what's on the slides. Only write down the things that they say. Studying. When you're studying, focus your learning on the cases and how the legislation has been applied. Always note down the exceptions to the rules or controversial cases. These are often the things that you'll be tested on. This sort of studying is definitely easier than just trying to memorize facts from a textbook. And definitely don't be afraid to ask your tutor. I didn't realize this until like my last year of law school, but they are literally there to help you. If you're having trouble with an assessment or a particular topic, if you email them or speak to them in person, reach out some way. A good lecturer or tutor will sit down with you and help you work through it. Yes, you will get the odd lecturer or tutor who refuses to help you, saying that you won't be spoon-fed in the real world. But most of them are there to help you, so don't be afraid if you've been turned down once before. Make sure you actually do your readings. The subjects that I did all of my readings for, even if I didn't take notes on them, if I purely did the readings and really understood what I was reading, I got high distinctions for. In terms of my results, there was a huge contrast between the subjects that I did the readings and the subjects that I didn't. There will be a lot of reading, so you can get smart with it. Often in the tutorials, there'll be questions. So read the questions first and then go and do the readings, because often the questions will guide what to look for in the reading. Time management is a really big one because there is a lot of content and work to get through in law school. What I found worked for me was to give myself false deadlines. So at the very beginning of semester, I would check all of the deadlines, and then I would write them down in all of my different calendars and diaries as being due a week earlier than what they were. And then I didn't look at the actual deadline again throughout semester. I was often able to convince myself that that was the actual deadline. The other thing is to just do the set work each week. Don't leave it to the last minute. Even if you only put in like 50% effort to a certain weekly task, at least you've done it, and that will definitely serve as foundations when it comes to exam and assessment period. So even like 20 to 50% effort is better than nothing. Do the work each week. It means that when it's time to revise, you're actually revising and you're not learning or teaching yourself the material. Your tutorials or classes, it really pays off to come to these classes prepared. Again, even if you're only 50 to 80% prepared, something is better than nothing, even if you can only answer one question. Tutors really notice the students who come prepared to class, and this is really important for networking down the line. On top of this, I found that the classes where I actually prepared, I was able to make more friends in class because I wasn't just sitting there trying to catch up or stressed about not knowing what was going on. I was a lot more relaxed and confident and able to make friends. It also just makes class actually enjoyable and not a stressful experience if you know what's going on. Make sure you're networking throughout the entire university process. You never know who you're going to be working with, and at the end of the day, your classmates may eventually be your colleagues. So make sure that you're making connections with the people in your class, your lecturers and the tutors, and really fostering those connections as well. If you have any questions about starting law school, navigating law school, or how to get into law school, I can definitely help you out, so put them in the comments below. If you found any value in this video whatsoever, give it a like, and we'll see you in the next one.